Yeah. So while discussing the debit and credit yesterday, I saw like many of you were relating everything to the golden rule of accounting, which we discussed in the class two. So that's actually a good sign because it means you are trying to connect the concepts instead of just memorizing it. So today, before we continue, I just wanted to clear that one common confusion which we are having right now. So right now, maybe you might be thinking that there are two different accounting methods which we use. One is like golden rules, and the other is like asset, liabilities, equities, and income and expenses. Both methods are correct, but they are simply a two different ways of looking at the same transaction. So let me show you like exactly how it works. So we have the, as discussed, we have traditional method, we have the modern accounting, which we do in the SAP. So in traditional method, what we have three golden rules. That is personal account, real account, and nominal account. And in modern accounting, we follow the account type practice. I mean the account type practice. So personal account in modern accounting we consider as customer, vendor, and employees. So as I told you in the yesterday's class, personal account is more of like personal belongs to personal or an individual. So in modern accounting, we can consider them as a customer, vendor, and employee. And similarly, a real account is something which we own. I mean the assets. So in modern accounting, we call it as a assets. And parallelly, nominal account are the account where we do the all the income and expenses. We consider the income and expenses. So up to here, you are clear, right? You guys are clear with this, correct? Guys, please interactive.
Yes, sir.
Up to here,
Yes,
you
sir.
guys are clear, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, thanks. So then say earlier accountant used to three account types like personal account, real account, nominal account. But as I told you in SAP, we follow the modern accounting. So we classify accounts as assets, liabilities, equity, revenue, and expenses. So the transaction will be the exactly same in both the case, and only the classification will be changed. So let me give you one example so that it will be clear to you. Suppose we bought 10 laptops, 10 laptops into a business by using a cash of like 50,000. Con- Okay. So what happens? We bought the 10 laptops. So laptop is an asset, right? Under which it follows? It follows under real account. So as per the real account rule, what is it? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Okay, so till here you guys are clear, I hope. So this is the accounting concept we will follow when we buy the laptops. Okay, so now let's solve this by using the modern approach, how it looks. So laptop is an asset, correct? So here when we procure this asset, did our asset count had increased? Uh,
No, it's the same.
No, like we procured 10 assets, right? I mean the 10 laptops, right? The count has increased, right? Like we procure the asset is coming to us. Our count has increased, correct? For example, you bought 10 laptops into your business. Now your asset count has been increased, right? From 1 to 10. Think of that way. I mean, when you are procuring something, your asset is like that particular thing is increasing, right? That is coming to your business, right? Are you guys able to get it? What I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Not exactly.
For example, you are starting your business, correct? And that time you have a cash, and you bought one laptop earlier, and again you are bringing few more laptops into your business. So that time the count of your assets increases, right? When
Yes,
something is coming to you.
yes,
Yes.
Yeah. So in that case, what happens as per the accounting principle, what which we are following? Debit what comes in. So as I told you yesterday, when asset increases, we will do debit. So similarly here, asset is coming into our business. That means we will be doing the debit. And when we are paying for that asset, through which medium we are paying, we are using a cash
cash,
to pay, right? So cash is going out from the business. So what we
credit,
will do?
cash to
Credit,
credit.
yeah, cash will be credited. So yesterday I told you that whenever an asset is increased, we will do debit. And you guys were confused, right? So this is the only concept which we follow. Like both the concepts are same. In the golden rule, we follow debit what comes in. Here also we follow the same. The only the approach is like we will be following the more of like account type level. Are you guys getting it? What I am trying to say?
Yes, sir.
So both the concepts are same only. Like you follow the golden rules of accounting, or else you follow the modern accounting. The entries will be the same. The nature of the journal entries will be the same. The only approach we follow in the modern accounting is more of like account type. Like here, the SAP will consider while posting the entries based on the like account type and the nature of business. Like here, we saw that when the asset we procured, it's coming into our business. So what is coming, we will be considering that as a debit only, and it's increasing, right? Like for example, earlier I had one laptop. Now I bought 10 laptops. It means the value is increasing. So whenever if an asset value is increasing, that we will be debiting. And whenever if something is going out from our business, that is decreasing, right? So that we will be considering as a credit. So do you guys wanted one more example, or is it fine to move with another topic? Like you want any other example related to personal, nominal in the same way, so that you guys have a clear understanding of this. Okay, let me give you another example considering the nominal account. Okay, so nominal account, when we will follow the nominal account approach, like under which nature of transaction will the nominal account plays a role? Can anyone unmute themselves and tell me? Like nominal account stands as income and expenses. Under which nature of business, under which nature of like transaction does the nominal account comes into play?
Office rents, other expenses.
Correct. So let's take the office rent example only. So right now we have rented an office space, for example, of 10,000 rupees per month. Okay. So as per the golden rule, this comes under the nominal account. And as per the golden rule, what is the rule is debit all expense, credit all income and gains. So up to here, you guys are allied, right? In case of nominal account, we follow this rule: debit all expenses, credit all income and gains. So now let's take this via modern accounting approach. So here the rent is an expense for us, right? So what we will do as per the accounting concept, we will debit the rent.
Office rent is debited.
Correct. Office rent will be debited.
Debited.
So here cash is cash is a
Credit.
something which is going out, right? So cash is an asset for us. So if you see what is the principle of real account, credit what goes out. When we are paying the rent, what is going out?
Cash.
Cash. So
Cash.
what we will do? Here we will
Cash will be
credit the
credit.
cash. So simple, right? So same approach is followed in both the case, like in golden rules and in the modern accounting approach. Same will be followed. Only difference here is that whenever the entries which are getting posted in the system, that time system will consider based on the account type, like whether it's an asset account, whether it's an income account. The nature of the transaction will be the same in both the cases. Now you guys are able to get it right, what I'm trying to explain yesterday.
Yes.
I hope this concept is clear, the debit and credit. Anyone have any doubts here before moving on to the next topic? Guys, please speak up. Then only I can able to know like you are able to understand the concepts because this is something which is important. Like generally many of the interviewers will ask you. Yakshit, uh, you have any question or like you are clear?
I'm clear, sir. Lot of.
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah, so this is something important. Like most of the interviews will ask you. Like they will just ask you like this will be the scenario like I am paying my office rent, what will be the general entry will be there in the system. So you just need to relate to what we discussed, like what is the golden rule and what how the system will consider while posting those entry. So you need to explain the whole scenario in the interview. So then only they will be like thinking, yeah, this guy is having a accounting concepts clear, so he might be like he might help us in business while doing the accounting. So it's important to know this concept. So that like this is why like SAP FICO is not about you memorize the golden rules of for every transaction. Basically, I've told you like it's built on the account types. Like for example, if you are posting to a bank GL account, then system will know that this is belongs to an asset. And when it you posting to the revenue GL account, then it will know that this is an income. So based on that, it will post the journal entries. Like it will decide whether we like what is coming and what is going out. Like whether cash is coming in or whether cash is going out. So based on that, the system will draft the journal entries. So yeah, moving on to the most important topic that is business process. So, are you guys aware about the business process in SAP? Any one of you? Like, what does this term means? Not in SAP in general as well. Like, if you know what does this term means, anyone here? Would you like to answer? Guys, please be interactive. Whether it's wrong, it's fine. Like, we are here for learning. If you're not like comfortable in unmuting yourself, try to paste it in the chat as well. Like if you have heard this term before or you're just hearing this something new for the first time. So can I consider silent as no, like you are hearing this for the first time?
Yes, Ron. Business process in the sense we have to plan all the things. First, we need cash and proper equipments and all.
Mm,
It is a
you
step by step process.
It's an
correct,
end-to-end activity.
correct, correct. So I believe like you guys are already know what the business process is. So today like we will drill down more into what are the existing process which we are having in a SAP finance. And yeah, and by the end of the class you will be able to know like what are the process we generally follow in real time. So before I take you guys onto the SAP screens or a configuration, this is something important to understand. Imagine, like, for example, imagine that you are owning a business and you own a mobile phone shop. So now tell me, if you are opening a shop tomorrow morning, what will be the very first thing you will do? You will you will rent a shop, you will buy a furniture, you will hire employees, you will purchase a mobile phones, right? And you will also open up your bank account to receive the income. So let me ask you one more question. In case of mobile phones, can we sell a mobile phone without purchasing them first? No, right? Can we receive a customer payment as well without making a sale? It's not possible. Can we also record any prepared reports if no transactions have happened? No, right? So every activity depends on another activity. So entire sequence of this activity is called as a business process. So what is business process? So business process is nothing but a sequence of activities
Mainly buying and
performed.
selling of goods.
Sorry.
Mainly buying and selling of products or any goods.
See, basically, in simple, it's a sequence
Step
of
by step.
activities. Correct. It's a sequence of activities which we follow to achieve the business goal. So the end goal will be the for every business is making a revenue. I mean the sales. So in order to achieve this, there will be some step by step sequences, right? We will procure the material. We will be then manufacturing that using that raw material to manufacture the finished goods. Then we will be selling that. After sales, we collect the revenue from the customer. So from procurement to the finished good, whatever the process is there, that is called as the business process. And like if you see, if you wanted to become a good SAP FICO consultant, then you need to aware about the business process. Because once you are clear with the business process, then only you can able to support the business. Because if you're not aware about what the client is doing, you won't be able to provide the solution, right? Like if you know the SAP system, but client is asking something which is not relevant to what you are providing. Like you know the complete system, but client business is something which you are not aware about. So if client comes to you for any requirement, that time you don't know, like if you don't know like what client is following, and you think that yeah, I found some information in Google and this can fix the issue, but the client requirement is something different. So in that case you won't be able to understand, right? So it's most important to know the business process first. So don't try to memorize like this definition. Just understand it as a sequence of activities which is performed to achieve the business goal. So, what will be the goal of a mobile shop according to you guys? What will be the goal here?
To sell the
Reach
mobile
the
phones.
targets or goals,
So,
sales.
yeah, correct. To sell the mobile phone, right? To sell the mobile phone is the goal. But before selling, what we need to do? What
Sourcing
will be sourcing, right?
and
So, before selling it, we need to purchase the mobile phones. Then we need to
yes,
store it in our warehouse.
yes.
We need to display it, right, so that the customer can come and check it, and we need to sell it, and we need to collect the payment. So you see, whatever the activities here from purchasing to the payment follow a sequence, right? So this complete sequence is called as a business process. It's in simple. Like every company has a business process. Like apart from a product, like apart from the product may be different, but the flow remains almost the same. Correct? So let me give you one real example here. For example, let's consider we are running a mobile manufacturing unit. So in mobile, when we are running this manufacturing unit, there will be a multiple departments we will be involving, right? Like there will be the purchase department, there will be the warehouse, there will be the sales,
Sales,
yes,
marketing,
there will be the marketing, there will be the finance and final management.
employee,
Yeah, employees also we can consider, but employees are the ones who will be part of these departments, right? Like in purchase, there will be the employees who will be working under purchase warehouse. There will be the employees who will be working under warehouse department. The employees will be the part, like employees will not be a part of the business process. They will be the acting as a coordinator in each of these departments. So now let's understand each of these department. So what will be the role of purchase department? So purchase will purchase department will procure the raw materials, right, to manufacture the mobile phone. And similarly, what will be the role of warehouse department?
To store that raw material.
organizing
Product.
the
Correct. So whatever the raw materials we receive, they will be they are responsible to keep storing them in the warehouse. Let me clear this out. Yeah. So the role of the warehouse management is to whatever the raw materials which we receive to store them. What will be the task of sales? Can anyone? What will be the role of sales here?
distribution,
Correct. Like they will be the one who will be directly coordinating with the customers to sell the final mobile phone. So similarly, marketing. So what will be the marketing doing? So they will be performing the all the ad camp. They will be running the campaigns
adding
to.
or reaching the
Sorry, sir.
customers,
Correct. They are the ones who will be creating the bridge to reach towards the customer
ads,
by running the advertisement all and by running the different campaigns to reach towards the customer. So similarly, what will be the role of finance, you guys think here? What will be the
finance,
finance user will be doing?
What have been sold and what is the losses and profits?
Mm, Not enough,
Ini-
but
Payments
mhm.
for the
initially they give the
vendors.
budget for the how much we need to spend the marketing, sales or some purchasing.
Okay, close enough. Someone wanted to track before I explain?
Payments to the suppliers.
correct payments. They will also do the invoice booking.
Yes.
They will also prepare reports.
Reports.
So there will be many activities in the finance as well. Like in finance also, we will be having some departments. Like some folks will be handling the budgeting part. Some folks will be handling the invoice booking. Some of them will be handling the payment part. Some of them handling will be handling the reporting part. So these are all some of the activities which comes in the finance. So when it comes to management, what will they will be doing?
Management give the approval. We need to get the approvals from management for the budget or something.
Okay,
Proceed the
okay, budget approvals and more
Decision makings.
decision makings, correct. So yeah, for budget approvals or something, decision makings or something, they will also analyze whether we are making profits from whatever the products which we are selling. So right now, if you see the whole structure here from purchase to last management, do you think like can finance work without purchase? Can it work without sales? Can it work without management decision? Do you think will it possible?
no.
No.
So each and every department is like integrated with each other. Like without purchase, we don't have a warehouse. Without sales, we don't have marketing. Parallelly, like they're working together only. So every department depends on another. So no department works in isolation. So let me ask you all a question. We just understood that every department in a company is connected. So like purchase buys the product, warehouse stores them, sales sells them, and finance record all transaction, right? But here is my questions. How do all these department communicates with each other during this process? How they communicate with each other? Can someone?
I mean, management is the key role of the in this.
Yeah, it's a
First,
key role. But for
budget.
example, hmm, yeah, continue.
With any
Yeah,
tool.
management give them a budget or making the decision only the we will
Order
put the money
ID
to
will
the
be connecting this.
If company has any tool internally set up, that HR tool, which will
Mm-hmm.
communicate through all department together, like one by one to other. If company has set up any the like ERP, like CRM portals.
Correct, Venkat. You like the answer is more appropriate, like what I was expecting. Yeah, great. Thanks for it. So, like as Venkat told, the company will be using some common software or a tool where whatever the information which is happening at like any of the level of this department, that will flows to the everyone. So yeah, definitely they will be using a tool to communicate with each other. But now let's travel back to like about 30 years back, before any tool or any system like SAP existed. And imagine that time you are running the same manufacturing unit where there was no SAP, there was no Oracle, nothing like no any other ERP. So that time every department was working independently. So how it used to look like? So that time what used to happen? The purchase used to have one software where they used to record all the purchase related activities. Then warehouse used to have another software where they used to note down all whatever the goods they were procured. Correct. And similarly, Excel sales used to maintain the Excel sheets for whatever the sales they have done. So and management like similarly other departments used to follow the somewhat same approach. And the management used to wait for the result. I mean the reports based on the whatever the activities which other departments have been doing. Correct. So the opening like Now imagine like what used to happen, like when the management used to get a reports at the final state, what used to happen? What problem would happen? There would be like duplicate of work because
Lack
each
of
of them were
transparency.
correct. The lack of transparency because more each of the department was using like their own tool to record the entries, correct? And it used to take a lot of delays
Time. Time.
and it used to create the communication gap as well because each of them were using their own tool and it was resulting in the more communication gap and human errors, which are common. So now imagine like we sold a finished product that is phone and sales records it from their end in their Excel sheet. And if once the sales records, we expect that the stock should also get reduced from the warehouse, and we expect finance should also generate the invoice for that. And all our inventory should update automatically whenever the sales happens. So here, if each of this department uses a different software, then someone has to update them manually, right? Whenever any activity happens. So this used to take a lot of time and it used to create mistakes. So that's why ERP was introduced. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning.
Planning.
So right now SAP is one of the world leading ERP system. So ERP is nothing but it's on a one platform where you can do all your activities. Yeah, ERP tool. Yeah, it's a one platform where you can do all your activities. Like one transactions, like any of the transaction which happens at any of the level, that will be updated to all the relevant departments automatically. You're getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So this is why we use SAP or any other ERP solution to cater this all the requirements which we used to do earlier by noting them, like they used to like using the multiple software. To replace that, an ERP was introduced and SAP is one of the largest leading ERP. And that is the biggest strength of SAP. Like we can cater all everything into the one tool. So till here you guys are clear, right? What I was trying to explain. If you guys are having any questions before moving on to the next topic, yeah, please feel to ask. Shall we move ahead with new topic?
Yeah, I think better.
Yeah, thanks. So
Yes.
right now I've just told you what is the business process. Like it's a sequence of activities. But I haven't told you what are the business process which we follow in the finance. So the first business process is which we follow, that is P2P. Anyone heard about this term P2P before?
Procure to pay.
Correct, procure to pay.
And source to pay also.
Yeah, that is like another business process.
Mm-hmm.
Procure to pay is the one of them. So now we understood why we need to use the SAP or any other ERP, right? So SAP does not like exist to just to store the data. It exists to support the business process. So remember what we discussed earlier, like a business process is sequence of activities which we use to perform to achieve the business goal. Okay. So now instead of just learning a theory, we will understand like how the it works from the process level. So in procurement in P2P, the first step starts from the purchase requisition. Have you guys heard about this term purchase requisition before? Or you are hearing this term for the first time? Purchase requisition.
Yeah, we had it in our working experience.
Okay. So yeah, let me give you a brief on this. So for example, we got a sales requirement from one of our customer that they wanted 20 new mobile phones. And the sales team notifies that we have only have 10 mobile phones currently in the stock. Okay. And they inform the same to the purchase team for the procurement of the raw materials to produce the 10 more mobile phones. Okay. And what happens? The internal request, the purchase team will raise a request for the raw materials for the like to make the mobile phone. So the request is called as the purchase requisition. So think of it like a request, not an order. So what will do the purchase team will raise a purchase requisition to all the vendors who supply those raw materials. Okay. So that requisition will pass on to multiple vendors, and based on that, some of will quote the price, like the price of the raw materials they're gonna sell. So the purchase team will receive like 10 quotations from the vendor, and the team will decide who is offering the better price. Okay. So that is about the purchase requisition. It is not an order, it's just an a request. Like we are just inquiring whether these raw materials are available or not to manufacture the mobile phone. Okay. So moving on to the next step, that is purchase order. So are you aware about what is purchase order?
It's an agreement between the vendor and the company.
Yes, we can say it's an agreement between the vendor and the company. So in our case, now the purchase department, like we got the 10 requisitions from the vendor. I mean the 10 requisitions from the vendor. I mean the price, like the how much they are selling. So what happens? The purchase department will review the quotations which we received from the vendors, and if they agree, like if they feel that this vendor is offering at a better price, then they will send the official purchase order to them. Like in purchase order, it will have a number of quantities which we required, the raw material quantities which we required, and what will be the price the vendor is agreeing. That all details will be there. So this is an official document which is called as a PO in business language. Like in real time, you will hear this as a PO, not a like they will the end user will say this as a PO. So once after the purchase order is submitted to the vendor, the goods receipt will happen. So goods receipt is like, for example, we send the purchase order to the vendor, right? So vendor will transfer vendor will send raw materials to our warehouse. So during that process, the raw materials which we are receiving into our warehouse, that process is called as goods receipt. So here the warehouse team will count like exactly the count of the raw materials which we have mentioned in the purchase order received or not. Is everything is okay? Whether any raw material is got damaged or not. If everything is perfect, then warehouse team will receive that goods while doing goods receipt. Okay. So once after the goods receipt is done, we will do invoice receipt. So invoice receipt is something where we will send the invoice to the vendor. Like he sent us the raw material, right? Then we need to pay for that. So we will be sending the invoice to the vendor. Suppose the value is like 80 lakhs. So finance team will receive the invoice. They verify the quantity and price, and they will also cross verify uh, with the purchase order, and they will also check like for example in purchase order we ask the vendor to send 10 quantities, and whether the vendor have sent the 10 quantities or not, we will verify with via goods receipt, and then only we will be booking that invoice. I mean the vendor will send us the invoice receipt for the quantities which we received. Okay. Once the invoice is booked in the system, I mean the once the entries get generated in the system, then the invoice is ready for the payment. So we are ready for the payment. Finally, like we agree, like whatever we have received is up to the mark. Then we will be paying that. We will be paying to the vendor. So here the process is complete. So this is all about the procure to pay process, and this is something you will be hearing lot. Like the interview will ask you more questions on this. Like explain me the procure to pay process. So this process is common across all the industries. Like whether you will see pharma, whether you see FMCG, whatever the industry you will go, you will see the same process, P2P process from purchase requisition to the payment. Like they will create a purchase requisition, they will place a PO, then goods receipt, invoice receipt, payment. So this is a common practice across all the industries. Okay, and moving on to the next process, that is order to cash, as someone already told. Order to cash stands as O2C. So anyone, are you someone can tell me if they know this process already?
Advance payment for the purchase order.
No,
Okay,
it's a
not a
receivement of
purchase order. It's a more of like related to sales order.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. So, like, imagine we have manufactured the complete mobile phone using a raw material which we have procured, right? So now what next? So it depends on now the next part is the selling that mobile phone. So what happens? Like the customer will inquire to us, like whether we have like earlier we received the order of like 20 mobile phones, right? So we will be receiving the inquiry from the customer, like whether we have the required quantity to sell or not. So what we do, once we manufacture that 20 quantities, we will create the sales order. So this sales order is something which we won't be creating. It will be created by the sales department. Okay. Once this sales order is created, warehouse will deliver the phone. Like once the raw material, like once the finished goods are done, that is also something which is stored in the warehouse. So warehouse team will deliver that phone, and once the warehouse team deliver the phone, the finance will create the invoice. Okay, so the finance team will create the invoice, and once the invoice is created, it is sent to the customer. Okay, so the customer will pay the money, and once we receive the money, then that will be part of the payment. So this is the whole process which is called as order to cash.
The doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
Here in P2P, we follow all the steps or we follow from invoice receipt, like finance department.
See, in P2P, we follow all the steps. Generally, like all the companies follows this step only. But if you see, like these steps differ from business to business. Like in case of manufacturing company, they require raw material, right? So in that case, they follow these whole steps. But if you see from the service level point of view, like service companies where they offer the services, they might don't follow this purchase requisition and PO step. They might follow the PO step, but they can skip this purchase requisition step. So it depends upon nature of business to business. But generally, this is the standard which follows by most of the business.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, moving on to the next process, that is R2R. R2R stands for record to report. So imagine like we have sold that for mobile phones to a customer, and 1 month had been passed, and our management is asking like how much profit did we make this month by selling that phones. Can the sales team answer this question? No, right? Even the purchase team can answer this question. No. So here,
Collection
who can
team
answer?
will. Collection
Not the
team.
product collection team, that is finance team, right? Because collection is also part of the finance only. So the collection, like, so here the finance team will be answering that question to the management via R2R. So in R2R, we follow this practice, that is process, that is we do the accounting. Okay, right after the accounting, we do perform the month end. What is happening? Month end closing, and we do financial, like we prepare a financial statement based on the closing. Then after the financial statements are prepared, then we proceed with the management reports.
Where will reconcile will come?
So the reconciliation part will come in month end closing.
Okay.
So basically what happens in R2R, so once every activity is completed, then it's more of like reporting side. Like we need to send our reports to several government entities. We need to send a reports to our vendors. We need to send it reports to a customer. We need to send it reports to our management. So that we will be like that will be considered in the accounting, where they will be performing all the. I mean, you asked about the reconciling, right? That can be considered in both the accounting and month-end closing. And once we perform all these reconciliation activities, then we will be preparing the financial statement, that is balance sheet and profit and loss statement, income statements. And based on that, we will be heading towards the management reporting. So these reports will help management to make a business decision. And this whole process of making the reports are called as a record to report. Here we won't be procuring anything or we are not paying anything. It's more of like whatever activities we performed earlier, from procure to pay to order to cash. Based on that, we will be like doing the reporting part of activities. So that's why we called as a record to report. There are also other business processes as well, like hire to retire, where employees will be joining, salary will be like processing, promotion will be happening, and like leave management, then retirement. So like if you see, there are multiple business processes, but that will be mainly handled by the HR department. So like the business process will be different from business to business and nature of business, but the process will be the same, like P2P, O2C, and record to report. Every industry has a different process, but the overall concept remain the same. So the product may differ, the product which we are producing or manufacturing may different, but the flow will be similar to our mobile shop example. So every company has a business process. So SAP simply helps companies to manage them in an integrated way. Like earlier, we saw that if you're not using any ERP, each of and every department will be having their own software, and the process will not be integrated. Like they won't be parallelly working together. So this is the one of the biggest reason why SAP FICO is called as the backbone of every organization. So it was about understanding how a business operates. So once you understand the business process, learning the SAP will become much easier for you. So in simple, like SAP is something simply a system that supports and integrates the business activities. Yeah, that's it for today. So yeah, I'm open up for the questions. If you wanted to know any of the topics which we have discussed, have any questions, yeah, feel free to ask. I hope the concepts are clear for you. The debit and credit, what we discussed, and the business process, what we covered, and also the P2P, O2C, R2R. Like, no need to worry, like, we will be covering this process live in the system as well. Right now, this sounds more of a theory, but once we started covering in the system, then you will be able to relate whatever I've told you. So, nothing to worry on that. It's just an example, like, I just wanted to tell you before so that while we are demonstrating in the system, it won't make you confused. So yeah, guys, any questions or if you have any suggestions as well, please. If you have any doubts as well, please feel to ask. Or else if you just let me know like all the concepts are clear, like whatever we discussed so far. Okay, thanks, Maleshwari.
I think if no doubts, Shravan, I think you can stop the recording. I'll interact with everyone for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So